Ladies and gentlemen, The Flash Season 8 has now officially begun on the CW, which of course is going to begin with a 5-part crossover event known as Armageddon. And so with episode 1, I have to say, wow, this is actually pretty good so far, especially huge upgrade from the disaster that was The Flash Season 7. I mean, that went downhill as soon as it started, but this season is off to a great start, I think, with this Armageddon Part 1. Because everything set up here that's going on with Team Flash, I think is pretty interesting. I like where that's going. Plus, we've got all the Armageddon stuff, which looks pretty nice so far. So yeah, it's really off to a nice start. I know a lot of people kind of just like quit the show after last season, but honestly, if you're one of those people, I'd give it another chance because this is actually pretty good so far. This was a great episode, especially just for the character of the Flash. You really felt like the Flash in this episode, which obviously I absolutely loved. But guys, anyway, we have a lot to talk about here for Armageddon Part 1. So of course, quick spoiler warning if you've not yet seen this episode, because we're going to go and break it down right now. So we start off the episode with kind of a flash forward, where we're in Central City 2031, and you have Despero, our main villain of the Armageddon crossover event, and he is, at least what looks like, he is destroying the city. Now, obviously, later in the episode, we find out that's not the case. He's actually trying to save the city. But for now, at the beginning, that's what it looks like. So then we go back to present day, where we just get a great start. We just got Barry and Caitlin. They're just hanging out. And then the Flash goes to stop a train collision. It was a very Flash move. It's like a classic thing you always see the Flash do in animation and cartoons. And in the comics, obviously, as well. So I love seeing that, just, going, zooming in and out of the train, saving each individual person. I think that was really fun to see, because the Flash really did some creative things with his speed in this episode, which I really enjoyed. Now, meanwhile, we have a bit of an update with the Central City Citizen, of course, Iris's newspaper, or media paper, you know what I mean. And it's actually pretty crazy, because now it's called CC Citizen Media, and it's actually like this huge thing now with like a ton of employees, which is a huge upgrade from last season, when it was literally just Iris, Allegra, and Camilla, Cisco's girlfriend. But of course she left, so we're down to 2 members, and now we got a whole crew, which honestly is pretty huge. It is kind of weird that they just hop into it like this, but at the same time, like, hey, good for Iris. I mean, this is like her dream, being a journalist and having her own newspaper and everything, so good for her. And we do actually get a bit of a storyline with the CC Citizen Media in this episode with Allegra, and she's just basically getting an upgraded role, more important role at CC Citizen Media, and so that's kind of just like the path that she's going on in this episode. Nothing too huge, but definitely I don't hate the character as much anymore, so hey, that's something, I guess. But of course, one of the big draws of this Armageddon crossover event, and really all Arrowverse crossover events, is new, or actually I guess just returning characters. Because Ray Palmer pays a visit to Barry and Iris. So he actually ends up staying with them because sometime they said, like, hey, if you're ever in town, you could come stay with us. And so he's going to take him up on that offer, even though he's just dropping in so unexpectedly. So he just shows up, and he's going to be staying with them for a while because he's in town for CCTC, which is the Central City Tech Con. And it's just so good to see Ray back here, because he's honestly one of my favorite Arrowverse characters. I loved him on Legends of Tomorrow. I was so sad when he left the show, especially because Brandon Routh, who plays the character, he's even said that it wasn't his choice to leave the show. He was basically kicked out. He wasn't fired, but he was basically kicked out of the show. So it was so good to see him back here, and we get a little bit of a life update on Ray, where apparently he hasn't been in touch with the Legends like at all. He's been doing this like monthly like dinner meetup with Nate, which I think is really awesome, because they were like best friends on the Wave Rider, but also like time doesn't really exist in the temporal zone, so it's kind of mixed up there. But yeah, I thought that was great. I think that was really cool. But now he's kind of just enjoying a new balanced life, focused on obviously his life with his wife Nora Dark, daughter of Damien Dark, and also just science. But the thing is, Chester is going to be his liaison for CCTC, and he basically comes up with this whole thing with a bunch of interns to help him start up a new tech company. But unfortunately, Ray doesn't want to do that, because that's something that he used to do, but he just became so consumed with it. And that's one of the reasons he left the Legends, is because he wanted to give up that life as the crazy superhero scientist Adam and just have a nice balanced life. So we've got all that going on there with Ray, and that's pretty cool. I love seeing that character return. But meanwhile, we also have the return of the Royal Flush Gang all the way back from Season 1. This was one of the first villains that the Flash ever fought. Or actually, I don't even remember if the Flash fought them, but one of the first ever villains in the Flash series all the way back in Season 1. They've definitely gotten a major upgrade here, and now they're stealing weapons from Mercury Labs. And while they don't really play a huge role in the episode, and the Flash actually defeats them pretty easily, which again was a nice display of Barry's Speed Force powers, it was nice seeing these characters return, because I remember seeing these characters growing up in like the Justice League cartoons and stuff. So I did really enjoy seeing their return in this episode, even though it was pretty brief. But of course, because this is Armageddon, we of course have to bring Despero back into this now in present day, because while Ray and Iris are doing an interview at CCTC, Despero pops up and basically tells everyone to get out of there, and he's looking for the Flash. So everybody evacuates, the Flash shows up, and Despero says that the Flash is the one who is going to cause Armageddon. Which is an interesting reveal, and we get more into that later in the episode, but very interesting. But also during this battle, of course, Despero goes full alien mode, which I thought was really cool, because that was something I was really disappointed about, seeing that it was just going to be Tony Curran, the actor, and just like, you know, human mode of Despero throughout this whole event, and not alien mode, because in the comics he is just a pure giant pink three-eyed alien monster. So I love that they at least flash in between that back and forth. I think that's pretty cool. It is a little weird having him have the beard still when he's in alien form, although it makes sense. But yeah, so anyway, Ray suits up as the Atom. He's like, oh, I gotta help Barry, and they're able to kind of take down Despero when Ray actually like tampers with his belt and like sends him to some random place. And then the day is saved, again for now, because it's just part 1 out of 5 of Armageddon. So then after this we get, of course, our epilogue, our wrapping up for the episode, where Ray, he decides that, you know, just the life he's been living isn't exactly the balanced life he's been looking for. So instead of just completely giving up on tech and science completely, he's decided to now officially create the Quincy P. Runk Foundation, which of course is named after Chester's father, to basically be like a tech startup group for those interns that Chester was setting up in Jitters. So I thought that was pretty cool to see, and a really nice ending for this character. I'm not sure if we're going to see Ray return in any other parts of Armageddon. I really hope so. But if not, this was a really nice ending for the character, that really sets him up on a nice life. And like literally his last ending line of the episode is something about like, keep up the good work, Barry. And yeah, so it was really, really cool. And we know, of course, the new Atom, Ryan Choi, is going to be coming in later in the event as well, which I'm really excited to see when that comes too. But finally, we get our kind of after-credit scene where Despero does return in Star Labs. We have just this confrontation between Despero and the Flash, who actually reveals himself as Barry Allen. And Despero basically gives him 7.5 days to prove that he's not a villain, because that's the whole reason Despero came from the future to the past, which is our present, to kill the Flash, because he knows that he's going to cause Armageddon in the future. So that's why he's here. He's here to kill Barry, but he says, alright, I'm going to give you 7.5 days to prove that I don't need to kill you. So this is kind of interesting, because then does this mean that just like these next couple episodes, Despero isn't really going to be doing much and it's just going to be regular Flash stuff? I don't know. That could possibly be what we see. But for now, guys, that was the episode. That was the Season 8 premiere of The Flash Season 8, Armageddon Part 1. Again, I thought this was great. I thought it was a really good episode, not only of The Flash, but also a great start to this crossover event with, you know, just subtly setting up a few things here and there, and I really enjoyed it. But anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What did you think about Armageddon Part 1? Let me know all your thoughts, theories, and predictions in the comments below. And thanks so much for watching. Please drop a like if you enjoyed this video, and hit the subscribe button so I can keep you up to date on everything that goes on in the DC life.